Hey, welcome back, YouTube friends. I'm glad you're here with me because we have a lot to talk about rebuilding our lives. So come talk to me while we go for this short walk. It's a nice day out here in Riverwalk, San Antonio, Texas. Sometimes the best conversation happens on a walk, a moment to breathe, a moment to reflect, and reignite that fire inside of you. Today, we're going deep into something we all struggle with: motivation. Not hype, not quick hacks, but real powerful techniques to bring back that drive. These aren't just ideas. They're backed by research, supported by science, and mixed with few raw stories from my own life. You'll also get 2 book recommendations you probably haven't heard before, and a powerful tool I personally use, onlinetherapy.com, that can help you when you're stuck. So let's walk, let's get honest, and let's move forward together. Motivation isn't magic. It's not just some special feeling that just shows up when everything in your life is finally calm, your to-do list is empty, and your laundry's folded. Because let's be real, that day never comes. It's not like you're brushing your teeth and suddenly hear a voice saying, okay, today's the day you turn your life around. Nope, motivation doesn't sneak up on you like that. It doesn't wait until the house is clean, the fridge is full, or the kids stop arguing. It shows up when you decide to move, even when things are messy, noisy, and far from perfect. Motivation is a system, a down-to-earth, boots-on-ground combination of mindset, biology, and good old habit. And guess what? You don't need to be born with it. You build it. You earn it. It's not lottery ticket. It's more like a gym membership. You only get results if you show up. Now, let's get a little sciencey. But don't worry, I'll keep it digestible. No boring textbook talk here. In psychology, one of the most respected research theory is goal-setting theory by Dr. Edwin Locke. He found that people perform at their best when their goals are clear, not fuzzy like do better, challenging, something that pushes you a little, and most importantly, meaningful, a goal that grabs your heart, not just your calendar. So let's stop setting goals like robots. You're not an Excel spreadsheet. You're a human being with emotions, fears, dreams. And let's be honest, at least one streaming service you're addicted to. Here's the first technique to boost your motivation. Write goals with a why attached to it. Not just the goal, but the purpose behind it. Don't just say, I want to lose weight. That's vague. That's a New Year's resolution waiting to die by February. Instead, give it a life. Make it personal. Say something like, I want to walk 3 miles a day so I can have energy to play with my daughter after work without collapsing on a couch like a potato pretending to be a parent. That's real. That's emotionally sticky. Because your brain doesn't care about abstract numbers. It reacts to emotion. Emotion creates momentum. And momentum, that's what gets you out of the door when Netflix is calling your name. Here's your homework. And don't worry, it will not be graded. Each morning, before life tries to body slam your good intentions, open your phone, grab a piece of paper, or write on a napkin if you have to, and answer this. The reason I'm showing up today is, and be honest, to take one small step closer to feeling proud of myself. Something like to finally stop quitting on myself, or to become someone my kid looks up to, or to prove my 8th grade gym teacher wrong. Whatever fires you up, your why is your anchor. And on the hard days, and they will come, you know that, your why will be the one that pulls you out of the funk and into the forward motion. Motivation isn't luck. It's not reserved for those annoying morning people who jogs with a smile. It's a muscle. And every time you ask yourself why you're showing up, you're stretching it. You might think motivation comes from being naturally good at something. This book flips that idea upside down. The book titled Peak: Secrets from the New Science of Expertise by Anders Ericsson. We learn that greatness comes from deliberate practice and not talent. And guess what? Progress fuels motivation. The more you see improvement, the more you're driven to continue. That's why tracking your progress is so important. Try this. Break your goal into small skills. Measure weekly. Don't track perfection. Track improvement. Let's clear up one of the biggest myths out there. Motivation doesn't come before you start. It's not the fuel in the tank. It's more like the heat that builds up after you've been pedaling the bike for a minute. You don't feel like doing it and then get moving. You get moving and then bam, motivation shows up like, oh hey, you started without me. That's not just a feel-good advice. That is science. Dr. Timothy Pychyl, one of the top researchers on procrastination, discovered something game-changing. When we act first, even a tiny step, our brain begins to shift. That shift triggers the release of dopamine, the brain's little attaboy chemical. And guess what dopamine does? It actually makes you want to keep going. You build motivation by doing, not by waiting to feel ready. So here's the technique. Use the 5-minute rule. When you're stuck, when your brain is saying, let's just crawl for a while, we've earned it. You say this instead. I'll just do it for 5 minutes. That's it. No pressure. No full workout. No novel-length journal entry. Just 5 minutes. And what usually happens? You trick your brain into starting. 5 minutes turn into 15. 15 turns into, wait, I'm actually doing this. And even if it doesn't turn into more time, you still showed up. You kept your promise. And that builds trust in yourself. Here's a quick challenge. Try the 5-minute rule today. Whether it's for cleaning, writing, walking, working out, or starting the project you've been researching for 6 months. Then come back and comment below. I did my 5 minutes, and here's what happened. Tell us. We're curious to hear. Share your win, big or small. You might inspire someone else to start their 5 minutes too. Because here's the truth. Most people don't need more time. They need a spark. And that spark often comes from just starting. I served over 20 years in the United States Air Force. When I retired, everything felt still. No more orders, no structure, no one to report to. I thought I'd enjoy freedom, but I felt lost, unmotivated. It wasn't until I started treating each day like a mission again that my drive returned. Simple structure, task with purpose, reflection at the end of each day. How about this? Try this. Set one mission a day. Reflect every night. Treat your life with intention again. This book is a hidden gem. The book titled The Willpower Instinct by Kelly McGonigal breaks down how our brain resists discipline and how we can train it to persist. One key idea: stress kills motivation. So when you're stressed, don't force action. Instead, manage the stress first. Try this. Willpower surfing. When you want to quit, pause. Breathe through the urge like it's a wave. Let the wave pass and move forward. Let's talk about the blocks. Because sometimes it's not that you're lazy. It's not that you lack discipline. It's because you're mentally exhausted. And there's a big difference. You know that feeling where you sit down to get something done, but your brain feels like a browser with 37 tabs open? and none of them are loading properly, yeah, that's not laziness. That's burnout in disguise. And it's more common than most people admit. I've been there myself. After I transitioned out of the military, I had huge expectation for what my life would look like. I thought I was ready to attack every goal with the same discipline I used in uniform. But inside, I was stuck, not unmotivated, just foggy. Like my brain was trying to run a marathon with ankle weights. That's when I tried something I never thought I'd do. I signed up for onlinetherapy.com. No big announcements, no long waits, just me, my phone, and some peace and quiet. What surprised me the most? It wasn't just talk therapy. It came with daily worksheets, guided journaling, real human support, and a structure. Something I really needed when I felt like I was floating. It gave me the tool to unpack my stress bit by bit without feeling judged or overwhelmed. And slowly it helped me reset my focus, not with hype, but with clarity. So if you're feeling stuck right now, if motivation isn't landing because you're running on fumes, don't just push harder. Try reaching out quietly, privately. I recommend giving onlinetherapy.com a shot. You can start for free, try a session, or just explore the tools they offer. I placed the link below so it's easier for you to check it out. Try it. Because sometimes the biggest act of motivation is admitting you need a little help. And if this hit home for you, drop me a comment below. Say, I'm not lazy. I'm just tired. And I'm working on it. Say it out loud. Own it. You never know who needs to hear that too. You can try it too. Visit onlinetherapy.com. There's even a free trial. It might be what gets you unstuck. Now let's talk about one of the most underrated power moves in life. Habit triggers. Here's the truth. Most people don't struggle with discipline. They struggle with structure. The best habits in the world won't stick if they're floating around with no anchors. That's where triggers comes in. Habit becomes automatic, almost effortless, when you tie them to something that's already part of your day. Think of it like hitching a ride on a train that's already moving. For example, after I make coffee, I'll do 10 push-ups. You don't need a pep talk from YouTube. You just made coffee, and guess what? Your brain knows what's next. And here's the cool part. That tiny cue sends a much bigger message to your identity. It tells your brain, this is who I am now. Not someday, not when motivation returns from vacation, right now. So try this. Build a habit using when and then formula. For example, when I blank, then I blank. It could be like, when I brush my teeth, then I'll say one thing I'm grateful for. Or when I close my laptop, then I'll walk around the block. Or when I start overthinking, then I'll take 3 deep breaths. Keep it simple, keep it small, and keep it real. You'll be surprised how effective that is. Because when you stack little wins into your existing routine, your brain doesn't just remember, it begins to believe. Here's your moment. Drop your when, then habits in your comments. When I blank, then I'll blank. You might spark a habit in someone else's life too. You'll never know. Remember, change doesn't always start with big moves. Sometimes it starts with a cup of coffee and 10 push-ups. Let's get honest for a second. If you don't pause and reflect, you will forget your wins. And when you forget your wins, you start telling yourself the biggest lie in the motivation killing handbook. I'm not getting anywhere. Even if you are. Even if you've been quietly showing up inch by inch, day by day. Your brain doesn't always keep the receipts unless you make it. And when progress goes unnoticed, Motivation dries up. You feel like you're stuck in the same spot, even though you're actually moving forward. That's why reflection isn't a fluff. It's fuel. So here's a question for you. Ask yourself, what did I do this week that my past self will be proud of? Maybe you finally made that call. Maybe you got out of bed when everything in you wanted to disappear under the covers. Celebrate that, because progress isn't always loud. Sometimes it looks like not giving up. Sometimes it sounds like, I'll try again tomorrow. How about this? Do this. Drop one of your wins, big or small, in the comments below. One thing I'm proud of this week is, let's normalize progress in all forms. Because when you remember your wins, you rebuild your momentum. And each day with 3 bullets. What I did well, what I am proud of, what I will improve. Keep a motivation journal. Let it build you. You don't need to get motivated. You need to see yourself differently. Say, I'm a person who follows through. Say, I am a builder. Say, I'm a finisher. When I started seeing myself as a creator, I created more. When I said I help people, I showed up like I am now. Your environment can drain or drive you. If your space is chaotic, your mind will be too. If your phone is full of distraction, your focus will vanish. Try this. Clean your space. Limit your apps. Follow people who motivate you. Build a space that supports your next level. Motivation dies when you're burnt out. Rest isn't laziness, it's fuel. If your drive is low, it might mean that your battery is just empty. Try this. 1 day per week, take a digital Sabbath. Rest. Let your brain breathe. Then return stronger. Here's the final thought. You've walked with me for almost an hour now. That's something to be proud of. Let's review what we learned. Motivation is a skill, not a mystery. Start small. Attach a why. Take action first. Reflect daily. Read new ideas. Get therapy if needed. And above all, keep walking. Did you like this video? Do you want more long walks like this? Hit that notification button and subscribe. Leave a comment and let me know what you're working on. And check out onlinetherapy.com if you need support behind the scenes. Hey, I'm proud of you. So until next time, keep walking forward. You're doing better than you think. That's right.